My boyfriend never listened to her, but the final straw was the thoughtless birthday gift. I need to let this out without getting pushback from family and friends who think his gift is romantic, so I'm using a throwaway. My birthday is coming up in a few months, and 3 days ago, I found out what my birthday present was, which are tickets to a cruise. His sister spilled the news thinking I would be excited, and I'm not. We live together and I found the gift and know it's for me. I sound so ungrateful, but I'm not. This gift just proves to me that things will never change. The first thing is, this gift isn't for me. I do not like cruises because I get really bad seasickness and nothing I do helps. I also told him what I wanted to do for my birthday, which was go to a Renfaire festival on my birthday. I have already taken the week off from work for it in preparation to go this fair. I have purchased tickets and am saving month to month so that I have spending money without it affecting finances at home. Why would he book tickets the same time as the time I took off to go to this festival? Also, this cruise wasn't cheap at all, so it's basically wasted money because I'm not going. I'm so annoyed. I have told him time and time again that I don't feel like he listens to me, that I feel like he just gets me things by thinking about what's best for him or what he would like. It's not only gifts. He makes decisions based on what he thinks is best, and I just can't deal with it anymore. I love him, but I'm so done, and before anyone says I didn't talk to him, or to talk to him about this, I have repeatedly. This has been a recurring conversation in our 2.5-year relationship. The next thing to do is talk this out and end things. Edit. I appreciate the comments and concern about cheating, but I know the gift is for me because it was in really nice packaging that said happy birthday. My name, and the bag had like cruise ship listed items and possible excursions. The effort he went to, it made me sad because that means he could have put in a little effort about the things I like. If he had even just gotten me a ticket for the Renfaire festival or accessories from online, or even a piece of an outfit that had to do with Renfaire, it would have made my entire month. It would have meant that he listened and got me something that interested me. I'm talking to him tonight, and I'm not even annoyed anymore. I feel nothing about this. Comments. Comment 1. Look at that. He's not changed one bit. She says she's done, it's over, she doesn't want to be with him anymore, and he just decides that he knows better than she does and just ignores what she said, what she wants, what she needs, just like he always has. I don't think he realizes she's a real person, and not an NPC. Comment 2. Her friends and family are maddening. He doesn't get credit for buying her flowers when she asked him to. It's not like he came home with surprise roses and she said, "Oh, I like orchids better." Though even that could get annoying AF after years of telling someone you don't like a thing. She asked him to buy orchids. He bought something else. It's not a sweet gesture. Update -1. I basically said I found the tickets for the cruise and I asked him who they were for. He said they were for me for my birthday, and I ruined the surprise. I asked him why did he get me tickets for a cruise when he knows that I get seasick, and also when he knows that I have been preparing for a Renfaire festival for a couple of months. He said that he always liked cruises when he went on them, and he thought that I could push through it with patches or some other remedy, because it was a really expensive cruise. He continued talking, but TBH, I spaced out because I realized just how much this man didn't care about me. He bought cruise tickets completely disregarding what I had planned, how I would feel, and what I wanted to do, all because he liked them. Like, fuck my birthday, fuck what I want, fuck how sick I get. He likes cruises, so we should do that. I think he realized I wasn't speaking or excited because he asked me what was wrong and I broke up with him. He was shocked and angry, and he asked why. This isn't the exact wording, but I said something like, "It's because I have realized how much you really don't care about me, and that you're always willing to put your wants over mine every time it suits you, even on my birthday." He started to argue and wanted to talk about it, but I was just numb and went to bed on the couch. After 2 hours of trying to speak to me, he left me alone. I woke up the next day and got ready for work. I oddly felt fine, and he wanted to talk, but I just said I'm done, and if he wanted to talk about the apartment, or what we would do about the lease, or anything regarding the end of the relationship, I'm okay with that. I told him I'm not changing my mind about this, and for me, this relationship is done and I just want to split amicably. While I was at work that day, I had free time and I wrote down every instance I could remember, just in the last 6 months, of him choosing his wants needs over mine. It was nearly 3 pages front to back, and I didn't even realize how much I let go off because he didn't want to do it. When I went home and he tried to talk again, I gave him the list and I explained what it was. He left me alone the rest of the second night. He's still not accepting the breakup. He wants to do couples therapy now, or even go on a break because he realizes how much he has done, but nope. I'm not doing it. I'm not trying to be mean or harsh to him, but I don't want to give him false hope. I also feel weirdly okay but also numb at the same time. What I have to deal with now is breaking the lease, which he isn't willing to do, because he thinks we can move past this. So I'm going to talk to the leasing office and see my options. At least I have my birthday to look forward to as I deal with the relationship ending and having to find a new place to live. Update 2. So I don't even know what to say about the past 2 weeks since I last posted. I had hoped to do a real quick update saying I was good, out of the lease, found a place, but I can't say that. First, the leasing office offered me a way out of the place, and it's really expensive. We have 4 months left, and there is no way I could afford to break this lease, find a new place, move, put down a deposit and everything else that comes along with moving. If my ex and I break the lease together, it is significantly cheaper, but he has refused, so I have no choice but to live with him. I have a few places in mind and I'm eligible, so I will just deal with this for now. I moved all of my things to a storage unit and put all my important documents into a safe location elsewhere. I have to get furniture for my new place since it was his place I moved into, but other than that, I already have everything else you would need. When it comes to my ex, I don't even know how to describe what is happening. It honestly feels like these last 17 days have been happening to someone else. He won't let me out of the lease because he thinks we can fix this. First, he tried to gaslight me because he said the things on the list didn't happen. Asshole. Where do you think I got an accurate recollection of what you did, and the date's text messages? When I told him that the text showed him either confirming what I said, doing the opposite, and then apologizing, his face dropped. You can lie all you want, but I literally have evidence to back up my memory. Then this brilliant idiot decided, you know what? I'm going to look at the list and pick things I did wrong and do them right. So he started picking things he had done wrong and then doing it right without any input from me. You know, it's the biggest mindfuck to realize that he could have done this right from the start. None of these were mistakes. He knew exactly what he was doing and didn't care about what I wanted or needed if he thought his idea was better. I had people message me asking what was on the list, and you know what? When I find the time, I will rewrite the whole list with screenshots. I will give a few examples now. One was when I asked him to pick up an orchid for me, since I would be working late all week. Orchids were my grandmother's favorite flower and she died a couple of years ago. Sometimes I really miss her, so I get some of her favorite flowers, and having them around really helps my mood. He decided to pick up roses, and I remember seeing the roses and saying, "Why did you get me roses?" when I asked for an orchid, and him saying that he thought these were better and prettier. Another example was when he took my car to a different mechanic, because he thought the one I had used for 5 years was trying to scam me when he literally was going to patch up 2 tires that happened to get a nail. Did he even meet my mechanic? No, he didn't. He just decided to take my car somewhere else. I took my car to my mechanic, who charged me $20 to fix my 2 tires, and he's literally my friend. The last was when I was invited to a party that had an ex-friend invited who had tried to say another friend of mine. I told my BF, "You can go, but I'm not going out of solidarity with my friend if that guy is going to be there." He promised that he had heard from the planner that the guy had said no to coming. He lied, and my friend and I were shocked to see the guy there. I almost lost my friendship with my friend because my ex thought that we shouldn't miss out on a party, because he could prevent the guy from approaching us. My ex would do things like this all the time, and each time I would be livid because he promised to do something for me and then would veto my decision to go for what he felt was best before discussing it with me. I take full responsibility for enabling this behavior, but I honestly thought at the time that I was compromising, and he fully took advantage of that. At the time I thought, wow, yeah, he's not doing what I wanted, but he's still doing these things, and it's misguided, but he's trying. I did go to my close friends and sister to vent, and I would hear, "Oh, but at least he still got you flowers. I can't remember the last time I got roses. He was looking out for you. Some mechanics are leeches. He was trying to be a protector when he lied about the party." I realize now that these responses made me feel bad and helped me accept the behavior, because when I vented to my friends and sister, I got feedback that made it seem like I was ungrateful, and that he was a BF who made mistakes, but at least he tried. I also didn't realize the sheer amount of bullshit I put up with. Writing it down and seeing the list get longer and longer when you have barely scratched the surface, you're like, how did I get here? How did I let so many things slide? Where the fuck did my backbone go? I will say the backbone is back, and I'm not tolerating any of this. Anytime my ex tries to talk to me about things not regarding the lease, I tell him to push through it. Your feelings are hurt, push through it. You still love me, push through it. You're in pain, push through it. You did something nice for me, but I'm ignoring it, push through it. You paid for couples counseling and I didn't show up, push through it. I don't give a shit. He keeps asking why I'm fine, and honestly, I think a part of me checked out a long time ago. Grieved this relationship, and that part was waiting for the rest of me to catch up, and I have. As for my friends and family, I have told them the relationship is done, and that's my decision, and that it's none of their business. When a few of them tried to make me feel bad about the cruise, and how they wish someone would do that for them, I told them that their husband's boyfriend's not even doing the bare minimum for them, doesn't mean that I should accept my ex's shitty behavior. I told them that maybe they should concentrate on why they're so do-nothing for them, instead of trying to get me to accept things I don't want or need, just because my ex happened to try. Not going to lie, that response took me a couple of hours to articulate, and some of them aren't talking to me now, but oh well. So that's my life currently. I'm living in the guest room and my ex is still trying. He's very annoyed and hurt, but that's not my problem. He is basically holding me hostage, so I don't care about his feelings. I have made it clear we are roommates. I don't cook, clean, or do anything for him. Honestly, I barely speak to him and I ignore his calls and texts when not at home. If he won't let me out of the lease, I will treat him like a stranger. I will not harm him or destroy any of his things, but I'm going to actively ignore his entire existence for the next 4 months. Either he deals with this, or he lets me out of the lease. Other than that, I'm doing really good and working on myself and maintaining boundaries and not letting people take advantage anymore. I already have a camera in my room that my phone is connected to and a lock installed. The leasing office knows that I'm leaving. I have informed everyone from my school to work to close friends. I don't have family close by except for my sister, who I can't live with. As for friends, I do have a few who are sane, but I'm in a degree program that I can't leave since I'm almost done and they live too far away for me to logistically make it work. Trust me, I explored every other option I had before I landed on this. It was literally a last resort. I'll be as careful as I can be. I don't think he will do anything to me, but also, that's what a lot of people say, so I have taken every precaution I can. Now, for the next story. My girlfriend of 3 years admitted she started dating me because of my longtime crush, and her roommate convinced her to go on a pity date. So I have had a mega crush on my GF ever since school days. We were in the same school, although she was 1 class ahead on me. Now my crush was such that everyone in my school knew. Like if I was anywhere near her, people would just give a mischievous smile to the both of us. If we were sitting near each other, then my friends would tease me mercilessly, LOL. In short, it was impossible for her to not know about it. But I never had the courage to ask her out. After school we moved to different parts of the world for our education and we were not even Facebook friends. Anyways, around 3.5 years ago I was attending the birthday celebrations of a friend when I saw her again. It was her alright, only she had become even more gorgeous and badass. The friend whose birthday I was attending was a mutual friend from our school and he of course knew about my crush. There were 2 or 3 more mutual friends there who also knew and they kept encouraging me to go and talk to her. So I finally went up to her with my heart in mouth and had a small talk with her. She of course recognized me from school, and we had a nice talk and then we exchanged numbers and socials. So with great trepidation I did some light detective work to find out if she is single or not. To my great relief I didn't find the presence of any guys in her feed, so my hopes went up a little. I reached out to her to hang out, fully expecting her to turn me down, but she accepted, to my great surprise. So we hung out and I found out that we have a lot in common, and then we decided for a next meetup. Things picked up from there and eventually we became boyfriend and girlfriend. She is everything I expected and more, plus she is also extremely happy with our relationship. We have been discussing marriage too. Anyways, last weekend we hosted her BFF and husband for a dinner at our house. The BFF is someone whom I had known during our school days and she is a good friend too. After dinner we were shooting the breeze and except me everyone was pretty drunk, as they were staying the night at our place. So we were talking when her drunk BFF suddenly turned to my GF and said, "Look how happy you are today and I feel some sense of pride after looking at you too." I smiled and said, "Well, thank you." Then she continued talking to my GF and said, "You didn't even want to give this guy a chance and only agreed when I pestered you to go on a pity date with him, and your plan was to let him down easy after the said date. But instead you guys are sitting here talking about your future together, and it makes me so happy that I convinced you to take a chance with him. Can you imagine if you had stuck to your original plan?" Her husband by now realized the awkwardness and led her away to sleep. I could see in my GF's face that she was visibly stressed. So we went to bed too, and when she came to bed after changing clothes she was already in tears. She took my hand in hers and said, "Please don't mind her words." I asked her, "Is it true?" and she admitted yes it was. She knew I always had a massive crush on her, so when I asked her out she didn't want to be mean by turning me down harshly. So she discussed it with her BFF, who was also her roommate at the time, about the situation. The BFF knew me, so she tried to convince her to give me a chance, but the GF was not convinced. Finally the BFF asked her to go on 2 to 3 dates with me, and then let me down easy, and GF agreed. But then she found out we really clicked together and wanted to continue dating, and well, here we are 3 years later. I hugged her and said it's okay. Don't worry about it too much as it's water under the bridge. But as you guys can tell, it's obviously bothering me. And I think she has started to catch on too, as she has been extra attentive and loving to me since the incident. So Reddit. On the one hand, I am the guy who is literally going to be engaged and eventually married to my crush, and it's even better, because our relationship just how I imagined to be, only 10 times better. On the other hand, it does sting a little to know that she only agreed to go out with me because she pitied me. Please knock some sense into me before I self-sabotage this wonderful relationship. Thank you. Comments. Comment 1. I get why she was hesitant. When someone has such a well-known crush on you, there's a ton of pressure if you go out. I know from experience. There's expectations and people have already been talking about what sort of couple you might be. There's teasing it set. I ended up dating someone who had a crush on me because everyone said I should give him a chance and I didn't want to judge. It turned out terribly. He had so many expectations for me and what I'd be like, and then everyone was always talking like, oh, they're finally together, making it harder to break off. But this worked out perfectly for them. She was able to get past that anxiety and worry and realize that she really liked him. I'm glad it worked because this is sweet. Comment 2. This is the kind of shit that makes you appreciate how amazing love can be. Yes, it made him a bit insecure for a moment, but he sat down and talked it out with an open mind and a vulnerable heart. His reward was an even greater appreciation for what he had with his relationship. That man is lucky, and I hope one day I can find someone as good to me as his partner is to him. That kind of supportive love has to be the most genuinely amazing thing in existence. I'm so glad that he didn't let that silly fact ruin what sounds like a truly great relationship. I genuinely hope everyone can find such love in their lives. Update. So I guess I should tell what happened after I made the post. In the morning, the BF apologized for her insensitive comments the night before. She said she got too drunk and that she just wanted to take credit for setting us up and playing a matchmaker, but being drunk she blurted out some unnecessary things. I said of course you don't have to apologize, as I have to thank her for me and my GF going on that first date. After the BFF left, I went to my GF and shared my feelings, and asked her why was she hesitant on going out with me. She then took my hands in hers and told me that it just felt awkward to her. She had known for years that I had a crush on her, on top of that I was younger and junior than her. Her friends from back home sometimes used to tease her by taking my name, and almost all of our mutual friends know about my crush on her. So when I asked her out, she felt awkward, because 1. I was more into her than she was into me even before going out on a single date, and 2. I had her on a pedestal and she was certain that reality was never going to meet my fantasy, so she wanted to avoid going through this. Also, she thought I was a weirdo. She admitted it. LOL. But after her BFF went to bat for me, she decided to go out with me, and then let me down easy after 2 to 3 dates. Then I asked, well, what changed after the first date, and she said, well, you didn't give off any weird vibes. Yes, you were very happy and nervous as a result. But I didn't get any creepy vibes from you. You were just a guy with a crush, with whom I had insane chemistry even on the first date. And now, 3 years later, I think I have a bigger crush on you than you ever had on me. After having this conversation, we went out to have dinner at the same restaurant where we had our first date, and even tried to order the same dishes, but alas, they had discontinued one of the dishes. Then we decided to order something entirely new, which we both had never had. Anyways, that was the update, guys. Thank you for reminding me how lucky I am. LOL.